with one minor exception as Ballistics kind of won a game that we're going to forget about that. We're moving on to our next series, our final best of 5 of the night. That is going to be BlossoM, a team that might look low in the standings, but they've only played 1 game. They're taking on Feliz, a team that has really struggled this season.
Oh yes, and that's the reason why we may actually see some upsets, and I think that could be this one. Feliz actually getting, not like having a best of 3 win, a best of 5 win, but maybe taking games off, because it seems like BlossoM is having some tough times actually filling in the new roles. Honkono as a tank, and their DPS actually not really making the best lineup right now in terms of their roles. Maybe just having Honkono as a DPS and instead of just having Gondar, because Gondar was the tank all the time. Maybe just going back to their old role seems a little bit better for me. I think that has to be done very soon, or else they can't really go above the top 4 spot, and they may lose the Eastern Clash spot as well.
I mean, that's what you would always say about BlossoM. BlossoM are the definition of a middle-of-the-pack team. They totally deserve to be playing right in the middle. They're not one of the weaker teams. They're not one of the stronger teams. They just sit right there, and they've never really been able to break out of that. And, it's impressive because BlossoM were one of the new teams that entered HGC a couple of years ago, and so they have climbed up there. They haven't stayed down at the bottom where a lot of newer teams have. But now this new roster, a lot has changed. So now they have to prove again if they do deserve that spot, and even one of the higher spots to make it the Eastern Clash and things like that.
And I think they have to really try a little bit more. If they suffer from this this kind of role with having Honkono as the main tank and Gondar as a DPS, which against a stronger team, of course, they're going to have a tough time. But against Feliz, if they just try it once again and say, okay, this works fine, but it's against Feliz, I think they should be having that's my personal opinion, and may not be, of course, certainly not.
It's not the official.
It's not the official role change from BlossoM, which I hope that will change soon. But do have a very strong opinion about this, though.
And I think you deserve to have that opinion, because not only do we all deserve to have opinions, but yours specifically does make a lot of sense, right? You have to go with what works. If it's not working, you got to change something. The definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And we're starting to see that something does need to be changed. Now, they've only played once, right? So we don't know truly what BlossoM do look like. I mean, actually, technically, we do know what they look like because you can see their faces there on the screen. But as far as their power levels this season, a lot has yet to be decided.
Yes, we will see. Merryday as a support has been helping a lot, but the main problem, as we already called out, but except for that, they're actually a better team without Tutu and without Nasan. Their support line, of course, with Merryday, much stronger. He can actually survive and get the kill. I think with the Karazim in the meta, Karazim just superbs a lot. He's an excellent Karazim player.
Yep.
Which would just allow BlossoM to actually blossom a lot more.
Merazim?
Merazim?
I think that works pretty well. No, that guy's a god, and I'm super happy to see a player come back from double quotes retirement and still have a strong impact. Here's their opponents on Feliz, Liu Dudu, OJ, Hanatan, and Aimer. Hanatan still looks super good to me, but I think Feliz does have a lot of weak points this season, as they have drastically changed things up and look very different because of it.
They still need a little bit more adjustment, I believe, and they're still looking for some meta picks. OJ just having the same solid one with the Muradins and few Anubaraks, and even with Garrosh, but it's really hard to compare the position when OJ is separated oftentimes. I think we saw their weakness last time in the game, but if they just adjust a little bit more with the help of the back line and keeping OJ alive, I think they can be a lot better if they have that strategy.
Let's take a look at our battlegrounds for today. A ban on Volskaya, whereas it was our first pick in our first series. We already got that out of our system. We are moving to the Tomb Spider.
Praxis Volskaya, the most common bans from Korea. Perhaps Spider. Interesting enough, at least not really picking Spider as the first map too many times. It's quite rare, and it is actually previously known as BlossoM favorite map. That's back in old Gondar, picking lots of Garrosh Stitches and Wiz dominating the solo lane and all that.
Old BlossoM. We'll see if the new one incorporates a lot of our new strategies, new picks, a lot of Urel out there. We'll see if they've adapted. We've only got a chance to see BlossoM once. Now we have to see what they look like again against a I don't want to say weaker opponent, but an opponent that is a little bit, or should be easier than their previous bout against Gen G.
Phoenix, one of the best picks to start off in Spider, because you can not only solo lane can just warp in and out, because the lanes are so close together. You can actually be a solo lane and the DPS together. So that's why you have Phoenix first pick. This makes lots of role confusion for the opponent team as well.
So we know support and tank for Feliz. BlossoM, still a lot of roles left open. They really could go with everything. I mean, Urel, Blaze, all of that looks pretty good right here. But I don't know if BlossoM is totally adapted to that yet.
We'll see, as Johanna already grabbed, leaving Garrosh open, but it's still okay to play that Garrosh against Johanna. Depending on the skill of the trade time Iron Skin, you can just draw that out and then toss him after. You can still get a kill, because it's very possible. The reason why Garrosh is so powerful on this map, because the lanes will stand the longest, and you can just throw them behind your own wall and get trapped right in there.
And there is the Garrosh. You talked about it earlier. No surprise, whenever Gondar's on the field, you're always going to kind of expect that. And the Blaze that I mentioned earlier, very, very strong solo lane. But now we get into the second ban phase, and this is where we actually could see maybe I guess you don't need to ban Urel necessarily, like you have tank and off lane, but I don't know. What do you expect Feliz to really target here now that BlossoM has, you know, their comfort picks?
Oh, well, that if Feliz just think Johanna is enough to tank the front line, they don't really need Urel too much. Or instead just pick Sonya, which they played a lot more. And in terms of how they usually ban pick, they like those comfort picks so much. That's why we have Valkyrian and Genji ban all the time from BlossoM. Junkrat, which is quite unusual. Well, we did see one Gondar Junkrat before, so maybe that hinted us. Maybe a match before has hinted them a little bit more with the Junkrat ban.
Man, every time I see Gondar not playing Garrosh and a Garrosh on the team, I was just like, okay, well, I guess the times have changed. Maybe this is the day they revert, change things up a little bit. That would certainly surprise Feliz, surprised me as well. But oh, there it is, the Urel ban. Wanting to make sure that they don't have to deal
Hongkong quite excited.
A hero, yeah. I mean, I wonder what it's like to be Hongkono. You know, I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him since the transition from being a caster last season to a player this season. I wonder if it is a little bit tougher to adapt to a lot of the new changes that this phase has brought.
He has always been playing so many personal games of Hero League and all those goodies.
Oh, so his stream by far one of the best Korean hero streams out there.
Yeah, he was always in a top 10-ish Grandmaster in Korea, so I think he still has the mechanics, and that's why he's in BlossoM with Merryday.
Yeah.
Trying to be one of the top few teams of Korea, maybe overtake the world with the starting from this Eastern Clash. I think that's possible, but it's going to be very tough breaking that top 2-3 against Tempest, against Genji, against Ballistics is actually going downhill. Maybe there's a chance to actually go into top 3, but we have the picks here. Hanzo, Thrall, who have great lane power, along with some team fight. They're just going for very comfort picks. Actually, Hanaton's Thrall, not too usual, but did see a lot of Thralls a long time ago when they were back in the open division, so it's not really a crazy new pick for them.
They're bringing the open division to HGC, one step at a time. For BlossoM, I still want to see what Merryday is going to go for here. I mean, it's not usually that I'm excited for the support pick, but every time I get the chance to watch Merryday play, it's just a pleasure because of how good he is, even still, after coming back.
He's a Samuro main.
That's what he would tell you, right?
Yes.
His teams may not be so happy with that fact, but...
Everyone knows, everyone in the world knows that Merryday is a Samuro main player on Hero League, and he's actually really good at it.
Support, by the way. Yeah. I mean, I am always a big fan. Anytime you can fit more Samuro in my games, you know, let it be. But I don't think we're going to see that. Rhaegar, Jaina, the last two for BlossoM.
Rhaegar got a buff, I guess, buff into the chain heal and then a nerf onto Ancestral, but we still do see a lot more Ancestral than Bloodlust. We did see one Bloodlust yesterday, but that was like at the end when the core was getting destroyed.
Right, Bloodlust
really
is kind of a win more idea. It's like, hey, you're ahead, now you can really crush them, but certainly not as common.
And with this comm, it's I think Ancestral is the way. They have the bunker, you can heal Jaina, or even Phoenix, not the best idea to Ancestral. Garrosh, of course, will be the target.
And if only you could Ancestral the bunker. Just keep it alive forever.
That will be broken.
The bunker that never died.
You can Divine Shield the bunker.
You can Mule the bunker. Heal it even faster.
Chromie!
Okay.
Please trying something new.
I mean, it does a lot of damage to stuff that stays really still like bunkers. Not the way that it's going to be intended, of course.
This is actually very unique.
I mean, we saw it banned earlier, so glad to see that out again. I never thought I would say that I was glad to see Chromie. Always a terror to any of my Hero League games when they're on the opposing team. Chromie's one of those players that, like, if it's on your team, it's terrible. If it's on their team, they land every skill shot and you just die over and over again.
Yeah, not just Chromie. That's like every other hero that's in,
You're not wrong.
Not all the time, but with this matchup with Malfurion, Johanna, Hanzo, Thrall, Chromie, they actually have super far range, and somewhat of appeal from Thrall is possible. Because you would imagine a similar thing with those hammers. I mean, they're different, but Thrall can actually peel, CC, and also Earthquake as an escape for the backline is possible with the comp that actually BlossoM map. If Thrall wants to just flank in and then make sure they can't really escape too well, then Bunker has to be used as a defensive tool, and they can just have a trade and then start off the team fight. I think that's what Feliz is trying to do. It's going to be a little tough in Spider Queens, though.
Liu now blinded. Will unfortunately not be able to auto-attack thanks to his teammate there. Nice little way to start out the game, and here we go. Everybody right up front and center. I don't know why you would necessarily do this against a team that has Hanzo Chromie. It seems like you're just asking to stack their quests and a little bit faster, but I guess this is the rule of HOTS, that you just have to try to lane against your opponents in the middle.
Keep your eyes on Honkono, as
I mean, you know Gondar's keeping his eyes, right? He wants his job back.
maybe not. He's been known as a player who can just play every hero, but it's different. Just playing the hero. Did you master the hero, or you passed the level of mastery?
I mean, you look at Gunnar. If there's any hero you say that he has mastered, it's that. So, Honkono's got some big shoes to fill. I think that's all we're trying to say.
And will be shown. If it's not shown today, maybe we'll have another questions. But only a minute into the game, we can't really give you guys answers yet. But Hanaton keeping the lane against Wiz, who's a very strong solo lane player, even with Zeratul many times. Sonya just destroys the lane and makes sure they win because of that. BlossoM, that has been the power spike, and the real power behind BlossoM was Wiz. We don't really see that 1v1 duel too much in the solo lane, but because Wiz actually sustains at least as a Dehaka or wins all the time the solo lane, the other four can actually roam around pretty freely because of that.
Yeah, so speaking of roam, we're starting to see Meriday come down to the bottom to get a camp. I guess always a great feature of having Thrall on your team. Now, what is the big purpose of, I guess, lane assignment? Chromie just kind of chilling up top lane. Is there anyone that really specifically wants to lane there, or is she just sort of taking a brief reprieve from joining your team in this 5v5?
It's because they have the camps. When you have the camp, you just want to make sure not to waste it. You do want to use that as a tool to push the lane and do some more siege damage onto the first wall, because on this map it's really hard to break through the first wall. When using that power and maybe getting a few towers, it's actually a massive success for your team.
Use power for the towers. I will remember that one for next time. Phoenix finally back up top as OJ comes up and then down almost just as quickly. But I don't know, I feel like I'm always questioning why we ever watch top lane, because usually the action is mid.
This is actually a wrong distribution from Feliz.
OJ cannot hold that by himself.
And as I guess they tried to pull down the bottom, maybe try to gank into Wiz, which was not really the best time, because they actually had the lane pushed onto BlossoM's side, and that's why they lost the entire wall basically. It's not one amateur left, but they lost the wall because of that weird distributing of resources.
I mean, it's all about winning the macro game. Like, if you want to pick a fight, 1v1, sure, you can play that. We saw that a lot in our first series of the day. But winning macro is really impressive to me to see, especially for teams like BlossoM. We don't know where they fit in the standings just yet. the ability to play like that is very reassuring.
And it's kind of easy for an opponent as a solo, just standing in the solo lane. There's nothing else that you can actually do as an opponent. All the camps taken, and there's no one to actually defend the mid lane. You're actually pushing with a 3-man. Then very likely you will be ganked in the next 5 to 10 seconds. So you just want to be careful. That's the positioning of Wiz. Actually helped with the wave as well. So there was no question that he was going to survive.
Turn in here by Aimer will be stopped. Meriday comes up. Takes a lot of damage, backs off, but I don't think he cares. Chain Heal is just going to come out and repair all of that. But still, we do have a minor turn-in advantage there for BlossoM. And they do actually have the curse if they want to you know, turn in all the gems that they have collected.
Certainly, BlossoM has more than 60. For OJ, Gondar, APM. Pretty nice. Can't really go too much in because you saw Malfurion trying to look for his tangling root right below him.
And then just being a jerk, trying to stop Wiz, or at least make that turn in a little bit less easy, more difficult.
We do still have that scatter animation. Just being held right next, but BlossoM, because they were just controlling the top wave a little bit better, they were winning the wave war in the front. They will get the first web we were turning, and this would bring us them to closer to 8.5, maybe up to 9. Getting them very close to that level 10.
Yeah, absolutely, and here we go. BlossoM with the first turn-in of the game will actually have a lot of opportunity here. Flip backwards there on to OJ. He's going to take a lot of damage. Can't quite follow through.
OJ's Johanna does survive so much better compared to all of his other things. I do like what he's trying to do, just peeling for a teammate, not really taking maximum damage, surviving for such a long time. Does that Iron Skin as well, so he survives, and they do defend. I like this OJ play compared to before.
I mean, anytime you flip a Johanna back into your team, it's like, okay, well, you know, what do you expect? You do have to wait until that Iron Skin's out, and he didn't do it either time. So now we get a chance to look at all of that again as we move up the top. For down below half, as that Web Weaver should get taken out before it takes critical damage. And this is a great defense by Phoenix.
Yes. And not just Phoenix, the entire team of Feliz, because I was pretty sure BlossoM was going to take at least the fort because lots of the walls were already broken, even though it's so early into the game. Because with a fort, they will be having massive lead in the experience, but not too much. All the fort, you see the damage. Near like 30% left onto the bottom one, and then the same onto the top. So they can push that anytime they want. That's something that Feliz has to worry about, because when you lose all the forts, you just have to crawl up a little bit more to turn your own gems in, but that's still way too far away for you to actually escape safely.
You really have to overcommit at that point.
So that's actually good news for Feliz. They still have all the forts.
Yeah.
They can still try. They have 90 gems in hold, though.
Wow, that's almost too many gems. I mean, at that point, you really do have to convert on them. Otherwise, you're just delaying so long. So let's see what they opt for here. Trying to keep an eye on quests they complete. I don't think we have Hanzo's quest complete just yet.
I think it did already.
Oh, it did? Okay, I guess I missed that one. I was going to say it's 7 minutes. It's a little bit late for the completion. So glad that one's in there for Feliz. They're going to be happy about that.
All the Hanzo mains are completed before 7 minutes. So
I was going to say, if you're Hanzo and you're
master,
struggling
so
with that one, maybe work on a different hero. But Doo-Doo.
For a second, I thought he was actually getting called. There's a taunt, and the massive stun comes up. Chromie drops 40+ gems. I mean, that's a big problem for Feliz now.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. A travesty for Phoenix. Feliz. I don't know what names I'm saying.
Well, we do have
the
Phoenix.
F-team. That is true. There's Phoenix on one side, Feliz on the other, and I don't know where I'm getting the rest of my names. Maybe Felix the Cat's somewhere out there.
That's the power of Bloodlust. I mean, I wasn't really expecting that too much, but at that moment, they needed the burst. They needed to burst in, and look at that. That's how you have all the attack speed, just everything blown up. Chromie does not have an escape before they hit 11.
No, I'm glad you pointed that out. We were actually, like we said, really expecting Ancestral, but that's a big change and used very, very effectively. Now, I mean, later on, when they do need that burst healing, is it there? I don't know. Where's it going to come from?
Still have Bunker as a safety tool, so maybe they just thought it's okay to actually have Bloodlust, and it actually heals a little bit when you do damage. Not too much, but if you have the output, it will heal yourself in that way.
Every time I see Bloodlust, at least in like Hero League games, I'm just like, okay, well that's a little bit disrespectful, right? That's where you just want to go and bop the guys. But here it's actually very strategic.
Another hit from the Blizzard.
No way, he actually survives.
He
nice
has to.
cyber
He has
agility
27
away.
on himself.
Yeah, if he dies as well, then it's just a catastrophe for Felix. Feliz. God, I'm going to keep doing that now that I've done it once. It's just going to be a bad day for me.
And it is actually Earthquake to delay for their backline, especially Chromie to just have easy skill shots.
Ancona going forward, going to get the flip again onto OJ. Never seems to really do very much, but at least he's putting the pressure out there. OJ never able to be complacent. He always risk thrown into the rest of his team. Now going in for a big turn in. This would give a third Pep Weaver in a row, I believe. Am I correct in that? Did I miss one?
No, you missed one because last time
when
Thrall
that's right.
Thrall actually got a secret turn in at the bottom.
He did get that turn in.
That's why they're holding a little bit less, but still a lot. Look at Tutu. Still having like 27, I believe. Earthquake, a great counter against Bloodlust, I would say. But has to be on spot because BlossoM, once they want to push in with that Bloodlust, you have to be ready with that Earthquake as soon as possible. Unless Chromie dies or Hanzo dies or backline, even without Ice Block yet, Malfurion can still be in trouble without that Twilight Dream in this case.
Yeah, it makes it very, very important. Your positioning is definitely going to matter. Ancona passing through the equivalent of one of the new Battlefield Mud Pits. Walking through that Chrome Wheel just to get to the rest of his team. Pushing with the Web Weavers. Now that the forts are starting to fall, breaking the next wall will be pretty easy.
Yeah, with Jaina and Phoenix. It's only a matter of seconds. Ooh,
oh,
look at that skill shot from
Modern!
Has to go back a little bit, so because of that skill shot, actually Feliz bought lots of time, even with these Web Weavers. Nice, Iron Skin just at the right time.
By the way, again, OJ up front center, but Modern again getting hit by this Chromie long-range burst. Gonna have to play a little bit more, I guess, carefully, be more mobile.
But they don't care. They have Bloodlust, they have Bunkers, so they have all the tools to actually keep themselves alive. As long as they dodge all the skill shots from Aimer, which can be a little bit hard.
And to be fair, they are doing a good job with that chain heal to make sure that any burst damage that does go down is healed off pretty quickly. A 3-level advantage here for BlossoM G-Clef.
And you can't really, you just have to give up. Not even 13, and the opponent's about to hit 16. They have all the tools, especially in that small choke point. And all Feliz they can do is they can poke from far range with Hanzo Scatter, Chromie's Sand Blast, and Dragon Breath. But you can't really go in too well. It's really hard. Well, they do have the tool. Johanna can sustain for a long time with Iron Skin and Earthquake.
Yeah,
that's gonna help, but 3 levels apart, you're gonna lack some damage as well when BlossoM actually has more burst.
Yeah, you're building a case for a potential Feliz success, but I don't know. I mean, they're gonna have to show us 40.
Watch it, the slow.
Another flip in there. This time
Bloodlust exactly the right time with the Earthquake actually goes down before, but lots of gems dropped right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a double digits. Dudu has to be very, very careful. He's got 40 on him. So he's
look at Merryday body blocking already.
Yeah, beautifully played there. Merryday, again, just a godlike performance this game. BlossoM really just nothing can stop them. They are a talent up on 16, pushing in for the first keep of the game.
It's maybe the first one, but the core, there is only one core.
I was going to say, it might be the last one as well.
Not the last one standing, but let's see if they want to decide. They do have the bunker, but no Bloodlust, so deciding to go around because they still have 4-level lead now. Right? I'm doing the math right?
You are.
7 minus 3, 4, yes.
That is correct. Yeah, a 4-level lead. And, you know, I used to, when I was first learning Heroes, way back when it first came out, I'm like, okay, let me figure out what this actually means. What does it feel like?
Rainer from the tutorial?
Yeah, it's been a long time. I do have that beta or the alpha badge, but I was just like, okay, how much of a difference does each level disadvantage mean? 4 is about as crazy as it gets. I think one of the Crucible games we had a 5-level lead
for a few seconds, and that was just destructive. Look at the burst onto the blaze and everything already wasted skill down. Skills on cooldown, but Johanna can't really survive. It's like, I think it was almost close to being possible for Feliz to actually bring that Blaze down. But because of a level gap here, that wasn't really coming to an end. And there's a speed up.
Wow, is Phoenix actually going to solo Liu? No, he's going to get some help there from Mary Day. Just pop the Bloodlust there as well, and this is just going to be the push for the core. A blow up on our sand person there as Chromie gets taken out, and the core soon to follow here. Hanaten's just kind of
me mad,
keep away.
Me earthquake, me survive, me. Oh, actually buying a lot of time before the core call, but core is getting the damage from the Web Weaver, not yet, from the top.
Yeah, Hanaten living up to his Twitch emote potential there.
Oh, the adventure of Hanaten is done right there.
He did not get a chance to choose his own adventure there. And yeah, here all 3 lanes pushing in, and Web Weavers as well. This is going to do it. A Game 1 win in dominant fashion. BlossoM
having style points as well. Just grabbing more kills as they had controlled the early game with the ganks. They had some crazy kills and
sick Bloodlust, by the way. That is actually spectacular.
What we call one moment, one opportunity. The Eminem move from BlossoM having the Bloodlust, just getting the kill because that was needed. Chromie was holding 40+ gems, I believe, at the moment. And if you see that Chromie kind of close to you, get that speed bonus from Bloodlust and attack speed, go all the way in, get that kill instantly.
It's like a giant crosshair on your head. Anytime you see somebody with 40, 50 gems, I think Hanzo carried around 40 gems for a while that last game, you really got to go for them. And Bloodlust lets you do it. So a great way to start things off for BlossoM. 9-0 in kills, deathless performance there. What a, I don't know, what a...
Still, look,
a bop.
Hanzo mains. raise your emote. No kill, no assist, no death. But you did the most damage.
100k damage. All
Give
right.
me the vote after the game. Make
My
me
man.
the MVP. Hanzo mains. Raise your voices. This is the time.
I mean, they're the stats. They're on the screen. Like we can.
I love it.
We can be prejudiced, biased, tilted, whatever you want to call it. The stats don't lie, G Clef. My man.
I know. First pick Hanzo. That's